Hey guys, Table here. Today we got a bit of a video swap with Xarkun. A lot of you guys know him. He's been a long time caller, first time listener on my channel. Gotten to interact with him over time. Watched him steadily rise through the ranks of YouTube. Now he's made his way into the community contributor programming with Wargaming for World of Warships Legends, and he's a good source of information on that game. Does videos and streams. So basically how this works is on his channel, should be posted roughly at the same time. He's going to be covering a game of mine. So he'll be reviewing it. I'm going to be reviewing that. You can find the link to that video in the description below. And while you're there, you can check out the channel and go from there. But hold on, hang on. Gotta watch this video first, then go over there. So what do we got here? We got Northern Waters, Domination Mode, Center Spawn, 5 destroyers per team. Oh, that's going to send a shiver up the spine of many Battleship players. I think it actually sends a little bit of a thrill up Xarkun's leg, though. We're going to see him pursuing these destroyers with some vigor in this match. You can see he's got HE loaded now. Nelson's one of those ships that you can easily just shoot HE the entire round. I usually prefer an active shell selection on the Nelson. If you got broadside battleships or cruisers, a lot of times those AP rounds can be quite profitable. But as an opening shell, regardless of the team lineup, you know, usually when the ships are deploying, often they're going to be angled just because they're moving forward, so the HE can be profitable. And when we have mini destroyers like we do here, even more so, because these destroyers are getting spotted by our team, the blue team, and by having the HE ready to go, we can go ahead and take some shots on them. Now, as noted, he's going to be aggressive. I mean, currently he's deploying from the middle more towards one flank. Always a good play. Assuming your ship has the mobility to pull it off, you know, you're going to limit the enemy team's access to the critical points on your ship. Nelson's one of those ships, if you're getting shot on the side, big problems. If you're getting shot on your angled pieces of armor, the side armor in this case, we covered this on my channel a week or two ago, 32 millimeter plating on the side, so if we're getting shot by pretty much anything except for the Yamato in an angled, in the side, angled, you know, we're going to be mitigating huge chunks of that damage. So as he turns in here to move forward, take a look on the map. All right, so you got the King George V right there in the center part of the map, and then the Fuso here on the southeast part of the map on his left. So by pointing directly between these two ships, you're going to be presenting both of them with the same angle. And at this distance, that angle's, whatever, 15, 20 degrees. I'm no mathematician, no geometrist, but, you know, it's a good angle from this position. But by moving forward aggressively here, and he's trying to get these juicy shots on these two destroyers that are contesting B, I get the play, I get the inclination. But the further far forward you move, the more access those two battleships have to the side. And if they have AP loaded, they could potentially start hammering the sides, and then you could have some problems. So initially, the Fuso's going to take a shot here. Now, I did some slow motion Zapruder film type analysis, frame by frame, on this first salvo. I only see one shell, even though there's multiple shells that are coming in. We'll see here in a second. I couldn't tell if this first one was HE or AP. I'm not sure he would have been able to pick up on it. He's going to take one more salvo as this play develops, and in that one, it is an AP salvo. So when you're making these plays where you're kind of risking it, like I'm moving forward here, and yes, if that one right there was a AP shot, but if you're recognizing, okay, the King George is shooting HE, Fuso is also shooting HE, you can roll the dice and risk and bet that they're going to continue to shoot those shells, in which case presenting the broadside lowers the consequence. The consequences are lower for getting hit with those in the sides. They're still going to do some damage, but it's not the chance for the big knockout citadel shot that the AP presents. But anyway, when you're rolling the dice, when you're making that judgment call, it's the opportunity is always there for the enemy to say, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the AP now and then shoot. So I don't typically like to rely on the enemy continuing to do what they're doing, even though a lot of times that's what you end up doing just because that's kind of how the play is developing. Anyways, I don't want to harp on any of this too much because you can see here the outcome. We're not really sustaining a lot of damage, not getting punished for this move. And as he moves forward here, he did get a shot on the Vok finally. And now by moving forward here, he's going to start utilizing this island, the natural cover, and that's going to block the shot from the King George. A lot of people think about island cover mostly for cruiser play, you know, getting parked behind an island and then just lobbing shells over. Great play for cruisers, yes. But battleships, you got to be aware of the geography as well, the landscape, and look for these opportunities, because basically what we're trying to do in this game is limit the engagements to 1v1, or in this case, we got more than one versus this Fuso. But from Xarkun's perspective, this is a 1v1 fight. So rather than the 2-on-1 that we had a moment ago with the King George and the Fuso versus the Nelson, now we just got Nelson versus Fuso, and then whatever else is going on with the blue team. So good use, you know, by moving forward very aggressively there. He did get a shot on the Vok. Then he got into a position where the King George is currently blocked. Now we can angle specifically against his Fuso and then whittle him down. So good development there. As I watched this the first time to familiarize myself with the game, I saw the Fuso was broadside, so I'm like, ooh, good time to have AP loaded. Then he angles towards them, so then the HE was going to pay off, and then now we got the other broadside there that potentially could have been tickled in the side with that AP. So that's always kind of the frustrating thing with the slow reloading battleships, is you kind of have to predict what they're going to do in terms of shell selection and then hope that they actually do what they're going to do. But we still got the HE loaded. Now look at the aim point here. He's going to actually aim so the shells go over the turrets on this final salvo. If you hit the turrets, a lot of that damage is going to be blocked by the turret armor. Turrets are usually the most heavily armored parts of the ship. But by aiming up just a little bit, we get those shells going to the superstructure, and then we get the knockout blow. King George on their team is blasting away at that destroyer, and you know, King George's Nelson is shooting at destroyers. Always should cause a little bit of consternation in those players' souls, because that's quite a threatening shot. Looking on the score here, Red just tied it up in terms of ship count. They got the cap advantage, and they got the score advantage. So game's not looking too hot from the strictly score perspective. Now we got a set of torpedoes coming in. Now I was going to say earlier, you know, potentially you can use that heal, because if you got 4 heals, you want to be kind of timing them or looking on the clock to use them rather than necessarily just looking at your health bar. But kind of lucks out there. He has one ready to go, takes the torpedo, had a fire going, damage count to both, pop the heal, and then we get quite a good chunk of that damage right back. Again, here, another opportunity that you could be saying, ooh, be nice to have those AP shells going. King George is going to be broadside throughout the sequence. It's going to hit him with the HE. Now, I think with this Nelson build, he's got that 7s Perkins slot 2, whatever it's called, where you're getting the enhanced HE damage, but reduced penetration. I think it enhances the AP in the same manner, though. So, you know, we're probably not going to be getting some Citadel shots on the King George if that's the build, which I believe it is. But, you know, you can still get some raw, juicy damage with that AP. So he's going to discharge one more load, then he goes ahead and switches to the AP. Now, the King George, if he continues on the path, he'll get a broadside shot there. But he also has this Miyoko to the north that's sailing around broadside. And note, he did get a fire on that King George. Damage continues to tick up in the corner, so you can see the fire is active, and that's going to be life-threatening for the King George V. Now he's got his AP loaded. He's going to swing for the fences on this Miyoko here. And as soon as that reload comes up. But the Miyoko, I think, has got his hand firmly grasping his throttle knob. And he's been jerking it around vigorously, seeing what will happen. So he kind of dodges that shot there. Lives to fight another day. But as that happens, we're going to see the King George expires on the enemy team there. So now they're stuck with 2 cruisers and a destroyer. Look on the map, though. Destroyer is kind of playing this island here. And that would cause me a little bit of a heartburn, I guess, to say the least. But, you know, so no harm, no foul yet. Miyoko trying his luck again. Ooh, boy, gets a juicy shot in there. Not quite he gone, but enough damage to grievously wound him and get the high caliber. So nice job there. 2 fires. I think he's probably, well, I was going to say he's probably holding them just because the destroyer's there. In that case, letting those fires burn might be profitable, especially with those super heals. Keep in mind, fire damage is fully healable, so if you got those juicy heals, might not be the worst option. But, you know, it goes Damage cons it, pops the heal. Now he's got to be on high alert, though, for the destroyer. Miyoko turns inexplicably broadside at first, at least on first blush, but now we can see on the map, you see some shells coming in there from the right. Someone's threatening to penetrate his posterior. So he's running for the hills. Crew gets off. Miyoko just rams into the beach. The entire crew fires one more salvo, and then they jump ship. They're trying to preserve themselves. Do set a fire. Looks like they actually kicked it in reverse before they abandoned ship. He goes ahead and discharges that shot into the direction of the Miyoko, who's actually got one more salvo coming in. Now, because we use the damage con, we got double fires here, so that's potentially problematic, but the damage con and the heal both coming back online. As long as he doesn't get torped here, I think the situation is looking pretty good. 3 kills so far. Dallas coming in. Initially, I was thinking maybe switch to the HE. We don't know what the destroyer's health situation is, but he is low health. And look at this. He's going to just fire the front gun. It's great when that pays off, as it does there. He takes him out. If the RNG kicks in and you miss that, you're like, should have fired the full salvo, but good job there. Having those back 2 turrets loaded and ready to go pays off, because the Dallas takes a juicy shot on the chops there, and then he's going to finish him off with the secondaries for a close quarters expert. So exciting finish there, and a great game from Xarkun. Thank you very much for sharing that. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming out all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. And once again, check the link in the description. You can see my video on his channel, and then you can poke around and check out Xarkun's channel further. Anyways, that'll do it for that one. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see y'all later. Peace!